resources, that if everyone in the world lived like us, which many people in the world aspire to, we would need 25 planets to be sustainable. Mars ain't enough. We need to live much more simply to save ourselves by keeping the Earth habitable for everyone, let alone us. It has been estimated that we all need to live like a villager in India. Now, people say that like a terrible threat. To live more simply with more shared land, making conscious decisions about which technologies to use and which to not use. Now, this is not an individual problem. Yes, or in a little knot, we can do individual things, thank God, but we need help one another to do this. We can't do it alone. Now, I'm going to give you an example, just a stupid little example, but when I retired, I had been a minister for 30 years and in large enough churches where I would be contracted to go to meetings 3 nights a week. So when I retired, I swore I would never go to another meeting in my life. I was so sick of meetings. That was an individual choice. But I have learned that the only way I know how to help me live more simply is to work with all kinds of organizations, kind of groups of people working together to that end. So more and more, nonprofits, civic organizations, faith communities, local governments are finding they have to work together so that we can learn a more connected way to live with the earth. This has required me to go to meetings. Yuck. Feels like a great sacrifice, quite honestly. Nobody else cares, but that's okay. But, let's face it, going to those meetings is balanced by the joy of strengthening connections to people and places in my community, as well as the hope in my heart that together we can create a more sustainable world for all to belong to. And you know that here in this church, Dick Prouty started a Town Green organization, and from that came another organization, Cape Ann Climate Change, all dedicated to working with climate. So now they've got me helping with this. They call it a heat pump party, but it's next Saturday, and I just wanted to show it. First thing, there's flyers out there. There are things going on to help all of us learn to live more sustainably, is the point. But it also is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 organizations working together. That's how, in the United States of America, we are able to change culture. So we've got the City of Gloucester, Cape Ann Climate Change Coalition, Action, Mass Save, Heat Smart Alliance, Homeworks Energy, working together on this one. And then, all the artists among us, the Rocky Neck Cultural Center, a week from Thursday, is doing a thing about electrifying everything. Another group of different organizations coming together. This is the kind of work that will help us change. The artists need to be creating our visions of this new world. Today, I invite you to participate in the ritual of Tashlik as an opportunity to think of an act of repair that you can do in the next 10 days to reconnect to at least one complex strand of this complex web between you and the rest of nature, which does include human beings and stones bluebirds and water, electricity and oil. The ritual often begins with a confession for some of the ways we have broken our relationships with others. So I invite you to join me in reciting a unison confession, a prayer of sorrow. It's number, I get the right one here. It's number 478 in your gray hymnal, and it's from the UN Environmental Program, Sabbath program. And I hardly ever read this because it's really scary to me. So it's brave. Let's do it. And I want to read the whole thing in unison. I don't want to do it like a responsive reading. Okay. We have forgotten who we are. We have alienated ourselves from the unfolding of the cosmos. We have become estranged from the movements of the earth. We have turned our backs on the cycles of life. We have sought only our own security. We have exploited simply for our own ends. We have distorted our knowledge. We have abused our power. Now the land is barren, and the waters are poisoned, and the air is polluted. Now the forests are dying, and the creatures are disappearing, and the humans are despairing. We ask forgiveness. We ask for the gift of remembering. We ask for the strength of change. Now I'd like to invite you to the ritual of Tashlik. Does everybody have a stone that wants one? Raise your hand if you would like a stone, and Pat will bring it to you. Jim needs one. Okay. All right. Now, I understand that some people will want to actually do this ritual, but many people will invite you to use this as a guided meditation if you don't want to get up and move ever, or if you're just not ready, or if you're online and you don't have a stone and a bowl of water at home. This works just as well as a guided ritual. Okay, so I invite you to hold a stone or imagine holding one. Consider a broken or frayed relationship in your life. Consider possible acts to help repair that relationship. Vow on the stone, if you are ready, to do that act of repair within the next 10 days, so that when the Day of Atonement, October 4th, comes, you will be at one with that other being. And if you have made your vow, set your intention. You're invited to come forward and cast your stone into this bowl containing water from this congregation's water communion a few weeks ago. For we need one another to repair our relationship with the earth and all its sentient beings. If you are not ready, please spend time looking for, holding, and meditating upon stones in the next few days. They may teach you what one thing you can do this coming week to repair some thread in the great web that connects you to all that you belong to. A relationship with a stone can show the way to truly joyful relationships. This ritual closes with this litany that was written by Rob Eller Isaacs, a lifelong UU, Jewish UU, who just died last month. We begin again in love. And how it works is Andy's going to play. It's a response, just like a line. You'll see it here in the beginning. And but then I do a reading, just a sentence, and then he'll play it again and you'll sing that response. I'll do another sentence and you'll sing the same response repeatedly. And it might feel awkward at first, but you will learn this response by the time we are done. I guarantee it. So stand if in spirit or body, and Andy will begin our journey here. Thank you, Andy. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. Each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible. For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. For losing sight of our unity. For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness. And I'd like to close with these words, dear, dear ones. I'll get there, by Denise Levertov. Intricate and untraceable, weaving and interweaving, dark strand with light, designed beyond all spiderly contrivance to link, not to entrap. Elation, grief, joy, contrition entwine, shaking, changing forever, forming, transforming. All praise to the great web. And as we extinguish this chalice, I invite you to join in our unison words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. This service is over except for the prelude. Let our service begin again renewed.